Alrighty. Oh, we're good. Okay. We're doing this. I just need to move a couple things out of here because technical issues, as usual. I'm not that technical savvy. There we are. All right. Hello, everybody, and thank you for being with us again. Welcome to another episode that we're having over here, and our little conversation with my good friend Andy Gagliano from Gagliano Mortgage. Andy, how well are you doing today?
Hey, Tony, I am very well today. How about yourself?
Can't complain. Enjoying the weather inside my office.
Yes, the weather inside most places is lovely.
It
The
is. It
weather
is.
outside, probably not as much. You're either going to get your weekly shower, and I mean like wash your hair and bathe kind of shower because of the rain showers, or you're going to need your weekly shower because of the humidity and the heat.
Yep,
So,
that is correct.
gotta love Alabama.
Oh, you gotta love it. You know, we got a couple of rains this week, as you can tell, a couple of days ago, even yesterday, and it was interesting because one of the houses that I'm fixing, my fixer-upper, my lovely fixer-upper, I still got a roof problem, and it's my fault. You know, I've been dragging fixing that out, and yesterday it was a pain in the neck seeing all the water on the floor and everything. But you know,
I bet.
we got it taken care of it today.
Good.
Andy, I have a couple clients that they moved from Florida over here. They are in their
Yeah.
70s.
Okay.
So they don't use emails whatsoever.
Lucky for them.
Lucky for them, exactly. They don't have social media. I mean, they know how to use their cell phone, but they're really not into all that. And it's very interesting because they were calling several agents when they moved, when they came here. They're living with their daughter right now. They want to be close to their daughter. The gentleman, he had a stroke last year, and now half of his body is paralyzed. So he needs to be on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
From time to time, he's able to walk with a walker, but it's very, very hard. So they decide to move to Alabama, being close to their daughter, so their daughter can take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they don't use technology at all. So they called several agents. Nobody apparently answered the phone. I was the lucky one that I did answer, and they're happy with me. We've been working for a few months now, looking for houses. They're buying cash. We found one, and it's an open door type of property. So it's going to be easy. We are on the contract, and the inspection period, it was for 7 days, ended today. That's
Okay.
you know, 7 days was today. We had the inspection done on Friday, and we got the report. So I had to print it because it was emailed to me. They instructed the inspector to email it to me. I had to print it, 47 pages, which is nice. It sounds a lot, but actually on inspection report,
That's not bad.
that's not bad. Exactly. I have received 125 pages.
Oh, yeah.
Not good. So this one came out good. There is a few things that need to be addressed, and they were concerned about. They're willing to do the repairs. They're not going to be asking for repairs or anything, but they were asking me if I knew people or if I can do it for them, and they'll pay me and stuff like that. And I say yes. Most of the things are like a leaking shower head. I say, you know, I just go to Home Depot and buy me Teflon tape, and I just screw this, put the Teflon tape, and put it back in.
Right.
And let's see what happens. That's a simple, very easy things. But where I'm going with this is something that I want to brag about myself. Good job, Tony. Good job. Since they don't use technology, I had to bring all reports, all the contracts, all the addendums, everything to them so they can sign it with a pen.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to do it 3 times a day. So I'm the city of Hoover to their place. That is talking about 35 minutes drive with good traffic.
Yeah. That's one way. That's one way.
That's one way.
35 minutes one way. Yeah.
Yeah. And from Hoover to going towards Gardendale. So I have to take the 65 north. And we know sometimes that 65 north, either way you're going, south or north, is a parking lot. So
Yes.
but I'm happy about it. I'm helping them, and that's what we do. It's not about the money, and we always say that. And Andy, you are the same way.
Yeah.
We care more about taking care of our clients, of our people, and make sure they're being served and helped properly the way it should be.
Yeah.
And that's something that I always brag about it. Something that I know you do also for your people. We find a way to make things happen and work it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's important, and I hear it. I hear more and more on the mortgage side, and I can't speak to the real estate side because I don't sell real estate, but on the mortgage side, I just hear more and more where borrowers, home buyers, are calling mortgage companies, and the mortgage company, whoever answers the telephone there, is pointing that caller to their loan application online right off the bat. I mean, it's like, hey, Tony, my name's Andy Gagliano. I'm calling you about a mortgage. I was given your name by my realtor or whoever. And then you would say, oh, cool. Awesome. I appreciate so-and-so referring you to me. So let me get your email address, and I'm going to email you a link to our online application, and I need you to fill that out. And to me, it's kind of like there's an entire segment of our population that, like your clients, are not on email or the computer, or maybe they have an email address and they're okay online, but it's a little clunky to them and they just don't want to do it. They'd rather meet in person. So how are these companies doing business with these people? Are they just running them off? And fortunately, my phone's ringing with them, or what? And so it's just a weird. I don't know. It's not just our industries, I guess.
It's not just our industry.
You go anywhere, and that customer service level is not what it used to be.
Exactly. And it's funny that you say that, and I like it. Here in the South, I noticed that customer service has changed a little bit from. I've been here in Alabama for, it's going to be 15 years now, and I noticed that has changed the last 3 years. It's in decline, customer service in some places, and I really don't get it. People get bothered when they have clients like mine that we don't use technology, we don't use emails, and they go like, and I gotta do this and complain about it. That's what we do, is customer service. We gotta do everything we can for our clients, and as a person, forget about business wise, as a person, I mean, isn't that what we're supposed to do? Help each other, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
So I don't know how some companies do it, and you're right about that. Some mortgage companies, especially those online companies, we're not gonna say it because I'm not a rocket man, but I like the song. Don't know how they do it.
Great song.
It's a great song, exactly. Yeah. I don't know how those people do it online. So they're missing a lot of the population, and still, I know people that they use emails. They're good with technology and everything, but they still prefer face-to-face.
Absolutely.
That talking to that person, asking them about the weather, how things are going, and why not. But
yeah,
I don't know where we're gonna be in the future in this business. I hope we don't lose that personal touch.
Well, and here's the thing: I don't think we will, because there is a place for me and you in the industries that we're in. And there's a lot of talk about, especially in the mortgage industry, about how AI is going to take over or take our jobs away in the mortgage industry. And I'm going to say that they're not going to take my job away. AI is not going to take my job away. What it's going to do is it's going to help me to be more efficient and effective and streamlined in my job. but it is not going to be able to replace that human interaction. AI has gotten very good, but it is still not going to be able to replace that human interaction. AI is not going to drive a 47-page home inspection report from one side of Birmingham to the other side of Birmingham, hand the buyers a pen and say, sign right here.
Yeah.
It is not going to do it. And so there's going to always be a place for professionals like yourself and me to be able to make a living doing what we do because of that.
Oh, definitely. I agree with you. I don't think AI is going to replace us completely. I think AI is a tool, and it's a tool. If you know how to use it and take advantage of it, I know I am. Probably not 100%, but I'm using AI in a way that it just blows my mind, especially, if you haven't noticed yet, English is my second language, and I speak with an accent. So sometimes doing descriptions or trying to understand something, I just go to ChatGPT, put whatever I need to put on it, and it will explain properly everything to me. That make it more easier. Do description for the MLS for a property that I want to sell. They do it better than I will with my own brain. So I think AI is a tool that, if you know how to use it, is going to make you, the person, stand out from your competition.
Right. Yeah.
And
well, I will say this. Kudos to you. You gave yourself a pat on the back. If we were together, I'd give you a pat on the back, because those buyer clients of yours, they need you, and they've got a difficult situation. I know a lot of realtors that would say, come to my office and pick this report up. And they just would not drive it across town.
Yeah.
And so, you think about someone who's in a wheelchair a good bit of the time because he's handicapped from the stroke, and it's not just like young, healthy 30-something jumping in their vehicle and driving to your office. It's a much bigger production.
It is.
And so I think that's awesome, Tony. And I know it's just you being you. And so it doesn't seem like it's anything special until you see what a lot of other agents don't do or aren't willing to do.
Yeah.
So,
like I say, it feels good to me. It's very special.
Yeah.
That I'm still able to do that. I think in a way that, what if it's my dad doing
That's
that?
right.
My dad is 83 years old, and thankfully he's in a good shape, good health, if you want to put it that way. And what if he's the one who needs somebody to help him or somebody to do things for him like that? So
Yeah.
I think about that all the time when I do stuff like this, and I'm happy and I enjoy it. And it helps that I like to drive. I just put good music on my car, and that's it. Now,
All right.
and the second thing, there's been, in the past days, I've been hearing a lot. I haven't done any research or anything, or checking the news, to be honest, because I've been super busy. Interest rates.
Mhm.
For whatever reason, through the grapevine, I heard something about the Feds bringing the interest rate down in the month of July. And the people who saying that, they are assuring and reassuring and being so super sure in their videos and the way they talk that interest rates are coming down in July, and that people should jump in now. What have you heard? What do you think about that?
Yeah. So I guess the driver behind that talk that you're hearing now has a lot to do with the fact that the economic news that has come out over the past week to 2 weeks has shown that our economy is a little weaker than what we originally thought. And in addition to that, it has shown that inflation has not been affected as much by the tariffs that have been put in place. And now we've still got some, potentially, I should say, still have some tariffs that could be put in place in the not too distant future. Personally, I think that is the big question mark for the Federal Reserve right now is, number one, are we going to have these tariffs be put in place over the next 15 to 30 days? And if we do, what effect is that going to have on inflation in the next 90 to 180 days? So the Federal Reserve is being very, very cautious. They're being very reserved about lowering interest rates. Typically, lowering interest rates is an inflationary move by the Federal Reserve, and they're watching inflation very carefully. So if inflation is creeping up and they lower their interest rates, then they've made an inflationary monetary policy at a time when we're in an inflationary period. And that is not good. That is not what they want to do. And so I'm going to say this. I think that, so yes, I'm hearing the same talk that there's a much better chance that the Federal Reserve is going to lower rates in July than what originally was anticipated or expected. So that chance of the Federal Reserve lowering rates has gone up. However, I think that tomorrow, which will be July 3rd, is really the key for determining whether or not the Federal Reserve is going to lower rates in the month of July. And that economic news coming out tomorrow is the employment report for the month of June. And if that employment report shows that unemployment has risen, then, and before I go any further, and that wage inflation has not risen, then I think there's a much better chance that the Federal Reserve will lower rates in July. As things stand today, without having seen this employment report, I'm going to say I don't think there's a really good chance. I don't think the Fed is going to lower rates in July. I'll say it that way. I think there is a chance. Is it greater than 50-50? I don't think it is, because there's really no way for me to say this that's politically correct or nice.
Or
so
not.
I'm just going to say it. So I'm just going to say it. And it's not offensive to or going to be offensive to anyone that's going to watch this video. It really boils down to this. The Federal Reserve does not care about me and you, Tony.
Yeah.
They don't care much about the people watching this video. What they care about is not us in the short term. They care about the long-term health of our economy in the United States. So short term, that means that you and I and people watching this video have to suffer, because they're watching things long term. They're trying to keep us from suffering long term. And if you think about it, would you rather, as painful as it might be, rip that Band-Aid off quickly that you got on your arm on that sore, or rip it off slowly?
Yeah.
It's going to be short-term pain to rip it off quickly. If you rip it off slowly, that pain could last, a much longer period of time. So the Federal Reserve's trying to keep us from feeling or experiencing that financial pain over a long period of time. And the way they have to do that oftentimes is creating some short-term suffering for us to prevent that. So here's the thing. The Federal Reserve meets every 6 weeks. They met back in June, kept rates the same. They said, we are not in a rush to lower interest rates.
Correct.
Unless we just have some earth-shattering employment report that's going to catch everyone off guard and be a total surprise and show that our jobs in this country are much worse off than what we originally thought. I just don't see a reason for the Federal Reserve to act in July when they're going to meet 6 weeks later. And at that point in time, they're going to have a much better picture of, number one, do we have these tariffs in place? And number two, are the tariffs affecting inflation and the prices that we're paying for goods? So my thought is Federal Reserve does nothing in July. There's a much greater chance, in my opinion, they lower rates in September if the tariffs if no more tariffs take place or go into effect. So
now we need to take in consideration something, I believe, and without being political fanatic, and whatever opinion you have about the situation, which is the immigration situation. It's talk about rates, it's talk about deportation, a lot of hardworking people being deported or not. Again, whatever your opinion is, it's your opinion. We're not being political over here. But it is said that a lot of the construction industry is being hurt by all deportation.
Yeah.
Because, we know, at least here in Alabama, if we drive to one of the new construction sites, I promise you, I guarantee you that 95% of the people working over there are Hispanics. Do we know if they're papers or not, legally or not, whatever you want to call it? We don't know that. But is there being massive deportation as is being portrayed in the news? So those jobs, because somebody needs to report those jobs, they're not there anymore. So that's going to affect the economy as well. And lowering interest rates is not going to help.
Right.
So that needs to be in consideration also. If those immigration reports are true, if those massive deportations are really happening, hurting industry like construction, hurting agricultural industry,
restaurants,
hospitality industry
yeah,
as well. So if that people is no longer working, who's taking over those jobs then? So if that's going to be, if somebody else is being hired to do those jobs, are they going to be considering new hiring? Is that's going to show like the real numbers when it comes to employment?
Yeah, that's a great question.
You
Great
know?
question. And I don't have the answer to it.
Yeah, it's something that we need to look into it. So because it really affects, it's not just the tariff, it's not just the regular reports that we get right now, whether we like it or not, what's going on with immigration, it is affecting a lot of industries.
It is.
And
Yeah.
we need to see what the job reports come out of that in the next 30 days, 45 days, in the next 2 months or so. Somebody's going to have to do those jobs.
Yeah. I had a conversation with a house flipper last week. Could have been the week before. Irregardless, the conversation went something like this. Hey, I need some additional funds to finish the houses that I've got that are in progress for flips. And it's just taking me longer to get these houses finished because I'm having a harder time finding workers. So the construction industry in this country is a huge, huge sector of our economy. And we've got someone who, again, is suffering. That's the owner of these properties and he's suffering financially because he can't find the employees or the workers to do the work that needs to be done to these properties so that he can get them on the market to get them sold, hopefully. So all this stuff's tied together. It all is interweaved, and it is a huge web. Our economy is a huge web, and almost everything in that economy is connected. Just like if you imagine a spider web, this part of the spider web is connected indirectly to this part of the spider web. So when this part moves, this part reacts.
Exactly.
And our economy is that way. So there's a lot of unknowns out there, and it goes back to this with the Federal Reserve. They're okay waiting.
Yeah.
To see what happens, what the effects are of all these things that are going on with the economy before they make a decision to lower rates. Now, the things that you and I were just talking about with the deportations, the taking longer to get construction projects finished because there's a lack of workers there, that creates that stress or that financial harm or pain for us today. And that is something that could spur the Federal Reserve to lower those rates sooner rather than later, because that short term, if it goes on for long, is long term, as we know, and that's what the Fed wants to avoid. But they're okay with that short term pain for us.
And as long as the interest rates don't go up, I think we're fine. I think just, and we're going to talk about it next week. I'm going to have you the numbers and everything about the housing. What's going on here in Birmingham, Alabama? What's going on here in Hoover? Inventory is up. Now is inclining a little bit more towards buyer's market.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you something. I got the feeling in certain areas of the greater Birmingham metro area are already on the buyer's market. And that's a good thing. So you have to be ready, qualified now, regardless of what interest rates we have, before they go up, which I really doubt they go up. We always say today's price, that's a gain. You're buying on today's price. If you wait for the interest rate to come down, then we're going to go crazy again. You're going to be competed against 5, 10 buyers for the same house, and you're going to have to give up something to get that house, like a lot of people did in the COVID days. So let's take it honest right now. You have a lot of cities, and you have the upper hand as a buyer to negotiate price, to negotiate terms. And, if the interest rate go down in 6 months or a year, you're going to be able to refinance if it's convenience. That's the other thing that I'm hearing a lot of so-called professionals saying that, go buy now, and in 6 months, if it go down, you can refinance. It's not just that simple either.
Yeah.
It's a true statement, but it's not just that simple. If it doesn't make sense financially, you cannot refinance. You're not going to refinance. And the other also is you have to read your papers properly. And you in the mortgage industry knows this. A lot of lenders, they're going to give you the money today's rate, but you cannot pay it off or refinance within 6 months. If not, most of the companies like yours will be penalized.
Right. Yeah. That's something that's not well known among the public. And let's talk about that interest rate thing just very briefly, because it won't take long for me to say this. You and I need to be doing a better job, and this is part of us doing the better job, us doing this video, of letting everyone know that interest rates right now are at a 4-month low.
Yes.
Doesn't sound like much, except when I say this. Today, not even an hour ago, I quoted an interest rate on an FHA loan that was almost 6% on a
Wow.
30-year fixed. Hey, 6 weeks ago, that interest rate was 7%. So the rates have come down a good bit. And combine that with what Tony just mentioned, that sellers are willing to negotiate, that's a winning situation for home buyers. And so it's our responsibility, being the professionals in the industry, to be preaching this or screaming this off the rooftops, that rates are very low right now. And it is an amazing time to be out there and to be getting a mortgage and buying a house.
Yeah.
So
It
it's
is great. Like
now's
we
the time.
always say, if it doesn't hurt your pocket, if it doesn't hurt you financially, if you are able to afford a mortgage payment, get into your house right now.
Yeah.
Because even if you're renting, and I know you hear this all the time, you pay 100%, blah, blah, blah. You are paying somebody else's interest rate, not yours. So don't you rather pay your own interest rate than somebody else's if it doesn't hurt your pocket? Take
Yeah.
care of it. So if somebody want to jump into a house, Andy, how can they contact you?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. 205-979-4412 extension 1 is my number.
There you go, people. You need to call Andy. Andy will qualify you. And if you don't qualify for a mortgage right now, Andy will prepare a plan. It can be 3 months, 6 months, or a year, whatever is convenient to you, and it's going to be fit for you and your needs. And then when you're qualified, Andy will call me, and then I'm going to get you to the house. My phone number is 205-370-3248. And let's start this real estate adventure together. Call Andy, call me, and we're going to be more than happy to help you guys. So, Andy, anything else you want to add to this?
I don't think so. I think we have covered a wide gamut of things today, and I think there's a lot of good information here for viewers.
Definitely there it is. Definitely there is. So thank you very much, people. Thank you, Andy, for being with us again this week, and
Thank you, Tony.
see you next time.
Sounds great. Bye.
Bye.